Chris, Lee and Blayne Gilmer of Southeastern 14 here to preview Florida's road trip to Columbia, Missouri. And boy, Blayne, these are two teams headed in different directions after a week. Cody Schrader still running through the Tennessee secondary.
Yeah,
still running through the Florida secondary.
They ought to call him Cody Shredder. I mean, he was just tearing it apart over there. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. But we'll talk about him in just a minute. And yeah, Florida. Ooh, that was rough. That was rough, Chris.
Yeah. This one, ESPN, 6:30 Central. Our friends at BetOnline have Missouri favored by 11, over under a 58.5. That makes for a predicted final of, what would that be? That would be 35-24 in Missouri's favor. Other places have this. FPI has Missouri by 7. SP Plus, Missouri by 9. Team rankings, Missouri by 10. FPI, Missouri by 11. So the odds makers, I think the computers have undervalued Missouri all year, and now you're seeing that maybe catch up in terms of the lines that are being set.
Yeah, I mean, Missouri's just a complete team, and honestly, Chris, I'm a little shocked at that line. I thought Missouri would be favored a little bit more at home, especially with a night game environment. I really did. I mean, I still think they're undervaluing them a little bit, in my opinion, especially with this matchup. But we'll break it all down here shortly.
Our preview is presented by our friends at BetOnline. The last of the major pro sports leagues is off and rolling. College basketball ready to go as well. BetOnline remains your top spot for all your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL, all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions. All the hoops betting action, along with every sport available at your fingertips, with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE. That is BLEAV. I believe that is all caps, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. When the Gators have got the ball, Florida averaging 29.5 points a game, Missouri giving up 22.3 and just 7 to that powerful Tennessee offense. Rushing, Florida 5.2 per play, Missouri 4.6. Passing, Gators 6.8, Missouri 5.9. And turnovers, Missouri forcing that a 1.7% rate. Florida does not turn it over, just 1.3% of the time. Graham Mertz has had a good year. The rushing attack for Florida has really never gotten on track the way I thought it would. And boy, you got to like the way the Tiger defense played last week and just really shutting Tennessee down. I don't think anybody expected, after giving up over 60 points back-to-back years, Missouri holding Tennessee to 7 points, Blayne.
And they held them to 83 rushing yards. And Tennessee can run the football. I mean, they can run the football as good as anybody in the country in terms of what the spacing that they provide, how they get to the point of attack. I just don't know how confident you can be if you're Billy Napier in this offense, even with two running backs that are very, very good. We know that have shown ability in the past with Montrell Johnson, Trevor Etienne, to be able to get things going on the run game. Because if you do not, Florida does not have the weapons on the outside to dictate to Missouri what they're going to be able to do in their passing game. Missouri is going to dictate it to them with those physical corners they have, the length that they have at corner with Abrams Drain and Rakestraw, and they will be able to say, hey, we're going to stop the run first. We're going to be more physical on the defensive line and fly around in the box and play man on the outside and see if Graham Mertz and company can beat us. Listen, I've got to give Graham Mertz all the praise in the world that I can. He's been far better than I thought he would ever be at Florida this year. He's really overachieved, in my opinion. So you got to give that young man his flowers there. But I don't think he can go into Como, take this offense, and realistically, Chris, expect it to be productive against a Missouri team that I think is. I mean, we saw what Georgia just did to Ole Miss, and you can't use the transitive property, but that a week ago, before that, you saw Missouri go in there and give Georgia everything they wanted. Yeah. This is a complete football team, and I think the Gators are a complete mess right now, going in the opposite direction, in my opinion.
Missouri's offense, 32.8 a game. Florida's defense, 27.4. Missouri runs at 52% of the time, 4.9 yards per rushing play. Remember, sacks come out of that. as they do out of passing plays, where Missouri gets 8.4 per pass attempt. Florida's numbers on defense, 5.6 and 7.6 there. That rushing defense for Florida took a beating last week from Jaden Daniels. Although quarterback rushing and running like Missouri is going to do it, probably a little different. That said, Brady Cook pretty mobile in his own right. Missouri really doesn't turn it over much, 1.3% of the time. Florida doesn't force turnovers, 1.2% of the time. Look, the way Schrader ran the ball last week, the way they blocked it, you got to feel like that per rush is misleading. I feel like Missouri's a much better team than that right now. You've got Luther Burden, I think, can give them trouble. You saw Jaden Daniels have a field day through the air, too. I just love the way this offense is playing, and I've got some questions about Florida.
Yeah, Cody Schrader coming in there. Like we said, a couple years ago, he was playing in Division II football, begging boosters to go up and talk to Eli Drinkwitz about becoming a preferred walk-on at Missouri. And now he's rolling through people like a Sherman tank over there, just absolutely just shredding defenses. He's listed 5'9", 214 pounds. Chris, he runs bigger than that, honestly. Like
yes.
he is so tough to bring down. Now I know 214 is no small guy, but he runs like he's got just tree trunks for legs. He's hard to bring down. The way that they execute the angles and the scheme of that outside run scheme a lot, and boy, he showed versatility. Cody Schrader may have made himself some money in this past game against Tennessee, Chris, because the NFL is always looking for guys who can catch the ball out of the backfield, and he certainly did that against Tennessee as well. Here's the deal about Florida. You just gave up over 700 yards of offense to LSU. Let me say that again. 700 yards of offense to LSU. Chris, I know that LSU can spin it, and they can. Jaden Daniels is unreal, but that seems like malpractice to me. If you're Florida, like you just totally. Would we have ever thought this a couple years ago, even when Dan Mullen was there, of a defense that was that void of athleticism throughout it, that they're just getting beat on matchup after matchup, getting the ball ran on them, can't stop it over the top. Florida has real issues when it comes to roster wise. I think that this is the first time in a long time that you can go in here and say talent disparity is in favor of Missouri, and that shows you what Eli Drinkwitz have done in terms of building this roster. I think that Brady Cook, like you mentioned, is going to be able to hurt Florida with his legs, and then that the complement of Cody Schrader being able to run it as well, and then the weapons on the outside. I like Missouri to have a big day. I'm trying to find ways to think, okay, can Florida get pressure? No, I think Cook's too elusive. Can they man up on him on the back end? No, I think those receivers are too good. Can they load the box? No, I think the Missouri offensive line is better than their defensive front, and Schrader can break tackles. I like every matchup in this game offensively for Missouri.
All right, other stuff. This could tilt it a little bit towards Florida, although I don't think it'll ultimately be enough. Spoiler alert there. Penalties, Florida, 46 yards a game, Missouri 54. Special teams rankings, according to SP+, Florida 12, Missouri 79. Look, Tigers are playing too well, as we have noted. I feel like they've been underestimated all year. We felt like, you look back, and the MTSU game, they didn't look great. We had questions after week 2, starting with the Kansas State game, and sometimes it takes a break. And maybe they got one, hitting a 61-yard field goal at the buzzer to win that game. But ever since then, this team has looked so good. The 2 losses were close. They were to LSU and Georgia. Now, Florida has been known to pop up and bite somebody at times. I think in Columbia, Missouri, that's a hard place to ask or to expect the Gators to do that. Give me Missouri.
Yeah, and I think one big thing here is when people get into the advanced metrics here, a defensive scoring opportunity is considered, or an offensive scoring opportunity is considered when you get inside your opponent's 40-yard line. Well, defensively, Florida has allowed people inside of their own 40-yard line 54 times this year. Out of those trips, people are averaging 4.03 points per trip. That's not even including getting down in the red zone. That's just when you get inside the 40, Chris. So that means that defensively, they're not stopping anybody from getting to the end zone. And you can't go into Como and let Missouri get rolling, trading sevens for threes and things like that. I really like Missouri to keep rolling in this game. Como is going to be wild. It's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere. Chris, they're on the verge of getting there for a 10-win season. This could be win number 9 for them. So, I mean, you're talking about some big stuff and a New Year's 6 bowl game on the horizon for Missouri if they keep rolling. So I don't think they'll allow Florida to sneak up on them. I think they'll be motivated, and I think they win this one and cover.
We're in agreement. We got all the SEC games broken down this week. SEC on SEC, that is. Also doing basketball stuff. So if you like that, check out our channel and hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. That helps our analytics. For Blayne Gilmer, I'm Chris Lee. We're Southeastern 14. Thanks for watching our channel, which is presented by BetOnline.